What's up?
Dude, where are you? Like,
I'm in San Francisco. I've been traveling a lot. I'm all over the place.
seriously.
I'm in the Bay Area. I'm actually in Vallejo, is what it's called.
Okay.
Um, but I'm here working with La Russell, who's like a really incredible rapper and singer, songwriter, artist, entrepreneur. He's out in the Bay Area, and I'm getting him ready for some shows he has coming up. He has like a little run of shows and then a tour coming up. So we're just getting his voice in check, putting him through boot camp. But yes, I'm out in the Bay Area. I'm actually across the street from Six Flags. I think it's called Discovery Kingdom. It's like the Bay Area Six Flags. Yeah, Discovery Kingdom. It's the Bay Area Six Flags. It's very small, but literally I can see it from my window. So that's kind of sick.
Dude, did you
Yes.
guys, because we ended up going to different middle schools, did you guys do a field trip to Six Flags in eighth grade?
I don't think so.
Because we
We no,
went,
we did. We did.
um, because we did, yeah, because I remember going in eighth grade and it was like our end of middle school, like present, or not present, but like trip or whatever. And like, I just remember getting there and our teachers were just like, off you go, have fun, we'll see you at 4. And I was just like, what, you're gonna let like it's 14 year olds just like loose? Like,
I
that
think we
was so
did. We
bad.
did. Yeah. I think we did. Not Six Flags, King's Dominion. That one.
Yeah.
Same story. They were just
Yeah.
like, go have fun.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's really like, at the time, I was like, I can't believe we're going to do this. This is so cool. I feel so free and independent. And like, now I look back and I'm like, those poor fucking workers at Six Flags, those poor,
Awful.
poor people. I feel for
Did
them.
you did you do the minor league baseball trip in high school?
No. What?
If you did, it was like AP Physics. They took us to a minor league, like what were the Potomac? I think back then they were the Potomac Cannons, and then they became the Potomac Nationals. But the Potomac Nationals, they took us to a game, and we would analyze, like it was like a project, like we would do like a physics project based on
Huh.
baseball. But
Baseball's a
like,
good a good class to like integrate baseball into, I feel like.
yeah, yeah, it's very. I mean, physics is very
Yeah.
baseball, but
Yeah.
everyone got like super drunk, like everyone was wasted at the game. We would just like, I don't think I even did, maybe a little bit, but
Harry, this
everybody
was high
brought like,
school?
yeah, high school. I feel like everybody got drunk and brought pot brownies, and I remember being either mildly or completely sober and being like, what is the point of this? Like everyone was like, yeah, baseball. And I was like, this is so fucking stupid. But
Yeah,
it
you're
was
there trying
cool.
to
That was
actually watch the game. Like,
yeah, some guy hit a grand slam. It was pretty sick.
you and I went to very different high schools. That did not happen. Um
Interesting time for sure.
yeah. Anyway, welcome back to Not From Boston, guys. 2 weeks until spring, or 2 weeks until opening day. Finally.
Well, 2 weeks until Boston opening day. We've
Yeah.
already had technical opening day.
Yeah, we did have some real baseball games this week, and we'll get to those in a minute. Um, but yeah, so right now it's just spring training. It doesn't mean that there's not any drama because there is a ton. Um, but just kicking it off, as of right now, the Sox are in second place in the Grapefruit League. They're 13
Hmm.
and 9, I think. Um, there's been quite a bit of injury news on the pitching front. Lucas Giolito is going to start the season on the injured list with a hamstring strain. It's a low grade strain, so he shouldn't miss too much time. Um, that still really sucks though. Like he was gone. He missed all of last year because of Tommy John, and then came back through an inning of spring training ball and is out again for 2 weeks.
Yeah, not good. He's sort of like, I don't know. I heard this like term earlier in the season or earlier in the off season. It was like, oh, is Lucas Giolito on fraud watch because like he's never gonna play.
Yeah,
Um, but is he gonna play?
I hope so.
Hamstring, dude. That's not good. That's not a good injury to have.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like he says now that he feels fine, but they're being safe, and I get that, especially when you're coming off of a not Tommy John, I guess, but like an internal brace procedure. Still, it's really unfortunate. Like from just the fact that he only threw one inning, and just was immediately down. That's not good. Cutter Crawford still hasn't thrown a bullpen
Nope.
session yet. He's probably going to start the season on the injured list. Um, I think they're hopeful that there's not going to be surgery, but I mean, at this point, who knows? Like, I really don't know if we're going to get Cutter Crawford for like the first half of this year, if at all.
Yeah, I would assume he's gonna sort of be like what Chris Sale was in years past, where he'll just show up in like late August and everybody like it's like a new signing. But it seems it doesn't. This seems like one of those injuries where there's stuff that we're not being let in on as fans, which is fine. It makes sense. But
Yeah.
like, I think there's a reason to keep it close to the chest because people, it's the Boston media. People freak out if there's like a not that he's like a top guy in our rotation, but he is a major player. He's going to be in
Yeah.
the starting rotation. So I would assume probably late August we'll see him. That's what it seems like to me. That whenever they say 4 to 6 weeks, it's usually like 3 to 4 months.
Well, it's always like 4 to 6 weeks until he can throw again, and then after like
Right.
and at that point he's got to work back up. Basically, got to do spring training again. Um, yeah, I think any amount of time to lose Cutter sucks. Because he is really good when he's not giving up homers. But yeah, I think this was a lingering injury from last year. So I feel like this is kind of the consequence of not addressing it last year.
Mm,
Not that they really could have because pitching was so thin then.
right.
Um, but I do wonder like what the extent of the injury is. I think that's probably what they're trying to figure out is like, can they skate by this year without surgery, or is it uh is he gonna have to go under the knife? And I don't envy making that decision.
No, I definitely don't. I mean, I know like we talked about Garrett Cole last time. Like he fought tooth and nail to not have surgery. He went to I
Yeah.
think he had like two different second opinions. So I definitely don't envy that decision. But look, at the end of the day, like you have to do what's best for your body. Like you
Yeah.
can't continue to get worse. So
Right.
yeah, it's not great. Obviously, Giolito's not great. But I know we have some potential fill-ins, which, you know,
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I mean, also there's, Brian Bayo is going to be
right.
missing one or two starts to start the season. Um, but really like they're emphatic that it's just those kind of first couple of starts he's not missing a lot of time.
Mhm.
Um, Alex Cora has said that what's not going to happen is there's no scenario in which Josh Winkowski or Garrett Whitlock get stretched out to start, which is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
good
absolutely
news.
the right move.
They're not starters.
Yeah.
I never thought Garrett Whitlock was a starter. He always was significantly worse second time through the lineup. Like he's a
Yeah.
fantastic reliever. He's not a starter.
I think that's what got Whitlock hurt as well. Is like he just, I think for like people who aren't like really plugged into the game, like it's to go from like being a pitcher who throws one, maybe two innings every day or every couple of days to then being someone who throws every 5 days but throws for like 6 innings.
Mhm.
Like the stress on the body is crazy, and I think that's probably what did Whitlock in last year. It's just like having to go because he kept getting pulled like back and forth, like, oh, you're gonna start, oh, you're gonna back to the bullpen, you're gonna start again, and it's like that's whiplash on the body.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so in lieu of that, there are 2 to 3 rotation spots, and we've talked about Richard Fitz and Quinn Priester. Sean Newcomb is pitching really well in exhibition games, and so he might make the
Is an
team.
option.
He was signed with he's got a minor league contract, but yeah, has that major league option. Um, and then Michael Fulmer.
That's what I was gonna say.
I
Michael
forgot we
Fulmer's
had
been,
him.
bro, he's the man. He was a rookie of the year. He won rookie of the
Yeah.
year in like 2011 or something. I don't remember what it was, but he's been around for sure.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I know that he kind of had it rough in the run up to his he had Tommy John as well, and that's why he missed so much of that's why he missed last year when he was still in our organization.
Hmm.
That's if anyone's hearing that, that is my cat.
Nice.
She like actually really funny. Like Fleur is not. She doesn't like when I don't give her attention. It's like I was the other day. I was on the phone with a like with a girl. And as soon as her voice came through the phone, Fleur was like, got up and was
Hell no. Yeah.
meowing, and she's like getting on me, and she's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, oh my God, okay, this is too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, spring training. Fulmer's been pretty good for throwing 9 innings. He's got an ERA under 1.
Yeah.
Um, so
He'll probably make the club. I mean, I think he'll make the. Is he on a minor league contract?
he is, yeah.
Because he's 32. Yeah, he's 32.
He's yeah. So I mean, we'll have to see. I kind of like that idea. I'm a little. I don't love the situation that we're in. I think I was a little more comfortable than you were last week. And I think now
Mm,
I'm kind of where you are, where I'm like, okay, we can fill those spots in the rotation, but like I like we can only that's not going to work for the whole for very long. Like, what is our plan to kind of supplement that? And um, if Crawford is gone for the year, then like we actually do need do we need to talk about like going out into the trade market and finding a replacement? Also,
yeah,
we're
there's
knowing
options.
Patrick Sandoval is going to come back in the second half. I keep forgetting that we have him.
Yeah. I mean, if he's going to be, he's coming back from Tommy John, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So who knows? I mean, that's a question mark for sure. But there are options. I mean, there's like rental players available. Um, I still will contest that at least we're not the Yankees. The Yankees situation is so much worse than ours, but it's definitely going to become like a fifth starter by committee situation until someone really sticks. I think it could be Fulmer. It definitely could be Fitz or Priester. Like I would assume it's going to be one of those three, probably Fitz or Priester.
I think
But
yeah, I think Fitz is pretty safely like the number 4 guy at this point.
dude, he's throwing gas. He's
Yeah.
throwing fucking heat.
So yeah, I think the fifth spot was definitely. I think you're right. There will be kind of a revolving door there. Maybe Hunter Dobbins comes up from the
Sure.
minors. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's right now that's kind of yeah. I think that's the actual. I would say like of the drama going on with the Red Sox. Like this is the actual. This is the actual drama. Like this is actually something that we need to figure out. But it's not that bad.
No,
Like the stuff
it's
that we'll
it's
get to is frankly bullshit. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not it's weird because this is the first time we've mentioned this so many times going into a season in a long time where I'm not like, oh boy, this is going to be rough. And I still feel like even with these injuries, I'm just kind of like, all right, look, injuries happen. We're seeing a lot of injuries in spring training. I mean, there's a lot of injuries. These guys play too
yeah.
many games, and it's a lot. Well, they don't play too many games in the season, but I think like it's just a lot of. I don't even know why it is actually. I don't know why. Like I'm a big fan of the 162. I don't know why, but it seems like maybe it's just the way guys are throwing now and the way guys have to swing to adapt to faster pitching. It's just dudes are more injury prone.
Yeah.
But it happens to every team, and I do feel like we're pretty equipped to handle it. There's a
Mhm.
lot of teams that have lost one or two key players in spring training for like 8, 9, 10 weeks, and it's like, oh, they're fucked. Like they're going to
Yeah.
be in massive trouble. Um, anyway, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I think we'll find a revolving door for that fifth spot, and it'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, in the meanwhile, Walker Bueller and Garrett Crochet have continued to
Shove 'em.
shove. Crochet, I think earlier this week had what 7 strikeouts
Yeah,
in 4 innings.
yeah.
Uh, where where is that extension? Why have we not extended his ass?
I'm not sure. I'm not necessarily surprised because this is like the Red Sox are going to Red Sox at some point. So like we've seen this happen, right? Like
Yeah,
Devers getting an extension as early as he did was kind of a surprise. Like that was 20 between 22 and 23.
that's right.
And I remember I was literally walking around Dick's Sporting Goods actually, and I got the news. It was like Rafael Devers. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" It was like in December. I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." But um the Red Sox are going to Red Sox. Like they're not the Dodgers. The Dodgers, when they identify talent, they're like, boom, let's go. I feel like the Red Sox are always haggling. I actually do have a lot of confidence that he will be extended and he'll stay within the organization for a while. But I don't know if it'll be this offseason because there's only 2 weeks left, and he said he's not going to negotiate after the season starts, which is
Yeah.
smart. I wouldn't if I were him. Like every player says, it makes a psychological impact on them when they're trying to play for a contract.
Right. But I mean, which is funny because like if I'm the Red Sox, I would think that you'd be in a mad dash to get this done before opening day because when you fall 2025, winter 2026, like when you go to negotiate with him, he'll have a full season as a starter under his belt, and that value almost certainly is going to be up. So like whatever deal is on the table now is not going to work. It's not going to be the deal if they're negotiating a year from now.
Yeah.
It's going to be way higher. It's going to cost more. Um, I kind of, I mean, there are things that like are silly about this and things that make sense. The silly thing being that I was reported earlier in the offseason that John Henry is very afraid of giving pitchers long-term contracts because he feels like he's been burned by like the Chris Sale contract, David Price soundtrack contract, the who was the other pitcher that he like cited?
Um,
Was it Clay? I don't think it was Clay.
no, we gave a
Um
lot of money to.
oh,
Fuck,
was
I
it
don't remember.
Lackey maybe? I don't know. It was
Yeah, it might have been. But you know what's
uh
ironic, just on that
yeah.
front, it's which is so funny is I think back to John Lester a lot, which was a guy that we like absolutely should have given even just a 3 year clip to,
Yeah.
and he went on to fucking didn't he win another World Series
Yeah,
after
with
us?
Chicago.
Yeah, with Chicago, right? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, it's like it's not that giving pitchers long-term contracts is the problem. It's that Henry's track record of choosing the right ones hasn't been great, which also David Price was not bad. Like that wasn't a failed contract. He won a fucking World Series with us. Like Chris Sale, yeah, it fell apart at the end, but again, he won it. He had 2 Cy Young caliber years with us and then got injured a lot.
I think Chris Sale is just like that was a bad contract because of when it came out. Like he signed before 2020.
Yes.
And he then went into Tommy John in 2020. And it's like
I think he signed 2019 before 2019.
let me double check, but I'm pretty sure that was like Chris Sale was a um that contract was a Heim Bloom
Okay.
contract. So I'm pretty confident about.
Let's
Let me
see.
double check. I'm on Spot Rack right now. Um, but yeah, I think I can see the argument that like David Price was an overpay because he wanted to be the highest like earning lefty starting pitcher or whatever. Um, yeah, it was signed 2020. It was a five
Okay.
year, $145 million deal. Um,
Yeah, that's that. Wow.
like so like to sign that contract and then immediately go to Tommy John, it's like I,
Not the best. Yeah, not
not
the
the
best.
smartest move. I mean, yeah, with Crochet, like we have this year and next year of him under control anyway. But I'd get it done. The thing that I understand about this extension that makes it a little difficult is that there's not normally when a player signs an extension or in free agency signs a contract, they're compared by the major league team to other players and contracts, other deals that have existed in the past. So like,
Mhm.
you know, there was that whole thing of like, oh, Alex Bregman initially wanted a Manny Machado style contract that was like 10 years, 300 million.
Mhm.
There's not really like Garrett Crochet doesn't have someone to be compared to because he was last year was his first year as a starter. Every year
Yes.
before that is a reliever. So like signing this contract, we don't actually know necessarily like what he will be like now as a permanent starter. So how do you pay like so then it's like, well, how much money do we want to pay him if that's the case, if we don't know what he's actually like as a starter beyond this one sample size?
Yeah, also there's this thing that every front office does. That's a good point. That's a really good point. There's also this thing that every front office does where it's like weird because it's almost like they're hoping that the player is like good enough to be good, but like doesn't exceed expectations. Where they're
Yeah.
like, maybe he'll throw like a 3.5 and we'll be like, it's like when they take players to arbitration. They're like, look, like you did okay. We'll give you 10 mil, but we're not going to give you 20. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. The business of baseball is so nasty. Like, I would never want to own a team and just be like, have to make those decisions because it's a weird like you want your players to do well but not too well so that you can
Yeah.
underpay them.
Honestly, I think for Crochet, like it makes sense to give him a 5 or 6 year deal that has options to extend
Yeah.
to 8 and then like $120 million for that 6 years and that expands if he takes those options. And I feel like that's because you're not going to get a better deal than that after this. Like
Yeah, I would
next
think so.
fall, he's gonna it like assuming knock on wood, everything goes the way it's supposed to go. If they're negotiating in a year from now, that's a $200 million contract for sure.
Yeah,
So yeah, they
I
got to
would
get
think
this
so.
done.
I mean, he's looking like a top three, top four Cy Young candidate right now. So,
Yeah.
it's obviously way too early to tell, but I don't know. I just always see this with front offices where it's like I always go back to that video of the Mariners owner when that guy got like
Yeah.
caught on that video and he's like, it's like, yeah, we're like gonna wait for the service time clock. We're hoping this guy doesn't do as well so we don't have to pay him as much. I'm tired of paying this guy's translator. Like these guys who are in the power position are, you know,
Yeah.
they just don't want to pay. So,
Right.
but I am hopeful that it comes. I think we will extend him. I don't have any feelings that we won't, but at the same time, we've seen good players slip through our hands. So
Yeah. I mean, I think like if they're about, not shelling out too much, although maybe they are okay with like letting the value of that contract go up. They did just give Bregman $40 million for 1 year, or
yeah,
for $40 million a year for 3 years. But so but Garrett Crochet has to anchor this rotation for like this next window that we're in.
yeah. I mean, I would
He has to,
agree. We're entering a World Series. We're entering a World Series window right now, and you have
right.
to have an ace to win a World
Yeah.
Series.
And I think like the fact that the top three of our rotation, like Crochet, Hauk, Bueller, like that is so sick.
Yeah, it's
Like
great.
that's so
That's
nasty.
solid.
And I'm excited because I think I don't expect to see like Hauk to like regress at all. I also don't expect him to like take another step. But if he just gives us what he gave us last year, like that's awesome. Like he's a great number two.
What did he
Um,
finish with? What were his numbers last year?
that's a great question.
Like
Um,
he fell off a little bit at the end, but I think he his numbers were good.
he like everybody else, he got tired.
Okay, dude, he finished with a 3.12 ERA. Like that's super
Yeah,
solid.
154 strikeouts. Yeah,
Hmm. Here's a Sports Illustrated post that just popped up. Boston Red Sox have not discussed contract extension with Tanner Houck,
yeah. I don't know why they would.
but he's been very vocal. I don't know if you've seen this. He's been very vocal that he wants a long term. Like he's like, I want to stay here for good. Like I just want to lock it down and be done with this. So it's interesting that like I don't know. He's like very.
Yeah,
Sometimes when I see people who are like, yes, I want this so bad, like I want to be here, I'm like, damn, just give him the dough, bro. Like fucking splash the cash.
the thing about Hauk is he is 28. He's our age.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and so he just hit arbitration for this year. So he's got 2 more years of arbitration after this before he's a free agent.
Hmm. It's worth waiting a little bit longer.
I don't know if I'm the Red Sox if I want to cover like those next 2 years and then some because otherwise he's going to be he'll be 30 31 when he hits free agency and that's I guess in this day and age like old.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like when we were kids, that was like the norm. Like when you're
Yeah,
30, it's like you get your contract.
I don't know.
Anyway, I think
Yeah.
it's again, these are all good problems to have. That to have guys that want to stay in your organization that you're not able to currently give extensions to is a better problem than having guys requesting a trade, which we will get to a discussion of that
Oh,
later.
we're
But
gonna we're gonna talk about that because
yeah,
I'm pissed. Not like I'm pissed, but not at him.
yeah,
So let's go into the hitting, like to talking about Red Sox offense. On Tuesday, Alex Cora said that Masataka Yoshida is likely going to
yes,
start the season on the IL. Also, yesterday, Masataka Yoshida hit a 2-run home run against the Yankees.
yeah. So I heard an interesting. I was listening to a Talking Baseball about this, and they were mentioning Yoshida is definitely viewed as an outfielder in the organization now. He's not viewed as a
Yes.
DH anymore. And I think that's because we are going to see Devers DH. Like
Yes.
it's going to happen. I'm sure he'll still play third, but we are going to see Devers at DH. Yoshida is going to actually be competing, I think, for a starting outfield spot.
Which is yeah. So Cora had said something similar where he said when Yoshida comes off the IL, he'll come back as an outfielder because DH at bats will be limited. Which
And that's, yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I read is
But
he's not going to bring him in until he's ready to play outfield.
but who is Yoshida competing like he's not like I just like who is he competing against? Because he's not taking center field, period. For regardless of who's in center. He's not gonna take Jaron Duran is not gonna sit for Yoshida. And I don't know why you'd sit Wilyer Abreu for Yoshida. Wilyer has a gold glove. Like
Yeah. I
I
mean,
like it's like okay, are we Rob Refsnidering Yoshida? which is, I mean,
Ah,
kind of feels like that's what's happening, but that's crazy because he has a $90 million contract and his bat is so much more useful than that. The fact that he's not going to get everyday play is crazy.
yeah, I think like I really don't know. I really don't understand. Like it's a guy that's making $20 million a year that's going to be playing like 90 games. Like that just seems bizarre, but also, here's the thing. I love overlaps in sports. In soccer, it's very common for a really top team like a Real Madrid or like I like Arsenal and Arsenal, a Chelsea, a Manchester City to have two elite level players competing for the same position.
Mhm.
That's very, very common. So the idea, I think American sports in general, there's like a consensus that like you have your starting nine, your starting
Yeah.
five, your starting whatever. Um, that's not a thing in football and soccer. So the team I like, Arsenal, there's two guys that are equally as talented that can play on the right wing. There's two guys that are equally as talented that can play at the number 8 position, the defensive midfielder. Like having competition, albeit friendly competition, you don't want it to be causing a problem in the clubhouse, but
Right.
I don't always think that's a bad thing because if you're someone who it really depends on the psychology of the person. If you're someone who's terrified, like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna lose my spot, that's not good. That's a problem. However, if these guys are top athletes and a lot of them see sports psychologists, like they have the resources. If anything, I want it to motivate someone like Willier Abreu to be like, okay, cool, I got the Gold Glove. I need to step it up offensively, or my spot's gonna be gone. I
Yeah.
would hope that it motivates people to put that extra little bit, the extra 10% and get to the cage a little bit earlier. Be like, fuck, if I fuck up today, if I go 0 for 4 and strike out every time, Yoshida's taking my spot?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. And I think you know, the Dodgers are kind of doing that as like you look at the Dodger uh outfield, they got like Teoscar Hernandez and they got Michael Conforto and they got Mookie Betts and they got Pajes and they got
Yes.
like it's just like hi Fleur. They have they have that depth where it's like I don't these players would start if they were on any other team.
Yes.
And I think
I
that
mean,
yeah.
sorry, that is not to cut you. We
Yeah.
were talking earlier. We can't talk over each other on Zoom because it cuts out the audio. But like this is a really good again. Like this is a really good problem. Like Yoshida probably starts on 20 major league ball clubs,
Yeah.
if not more, and Abreu starts on 20 to 25 major league. Like literally the Dodgers, honestly, maybe even more. There's only like three teams I can think of that have a stacked outfield that's more stacked than ours. That like he's
Yeah.
not getting in the Dodgers. He's probably not playing in like fuck. I don't know. Maybe just the Dodgers.
Yeah. I just I guess I'm really curious because Cora is a manager who really likes um he really likes building his lineup on a case by case basis, on a game by game basis. And so I'm really wondering like what is the scenario where Alex Cora is like, yes, this is a scenario where we can bench Abreu or Duran and put Yoshida in, where we don't need to worry about like the defense as much.
It's interesting. I'm just looking at their stats right now. It's interesting because other than like Duran is obviously like the premier corner outfield offensive
Yeah.
player. Like he's the best hitter of the three of them. Abreu,
I know Abreu struggled with lefties, but
because
I
he's
mean,
left-handed. I mean, he is
yeah,
left-handed,
but so is
and
Yoshida.
that's where I was going. That the interesting thing is all three of them are left-handed, so there's no platoon opportunity. It's not
Yeah.
like I've seen Yoshida roll over to first on like almost every other lefty he faces. It's
Yeah.
not like it's that big of a difference. I guess it's really more. Let me look up Abreu's stats compared to like over the course of his career. He's only had 1 year in the bigs, right? I think last year was his two. Okay,
No, two,
so
because he's 2013 or 2023. Um, yeah,
versus
also
his
like if it's a lefty righty thing, like that's what Rob Refsnyder's for.
right. It
Uh,
is weird. It
yeah.
seems like maybe it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know, but and it's funny because Yoshida and Abreu, their offensive numbers are like comparable. Like they're
Yeah.
completely. You might as well just switch one out for the other.
Yeah. I mean, I think like part of also like, and this is kind of goes back to what we've been saying for a while, like bringing Yoshida back and letting him play in the outfield again is in large part to build up his value so he can be moved. I mean, I think like
Yes.
that. I think at the end, like this is always gonna, I think, end with Yoshida being moved. Um,
I would think
I
so
mean,
because he has what 2 years left on his contract.
yeah, and I wouldn't move uh Abreu or like I don't know. I mean, also it's like then you get into the Roman Anthony of it all. I mean, that
Oh my
dude's
God.
just clubbing it. And
Yeah,
we'll get to
we'll
him in
talk
a
about that. But
yeah, but like so it's like seriously, like we got too many guys. Like we got to get rid of some.
yeah, we
Um,
do. I mean, it's gonna happen this year. Like that ultimately is what's gonna happen. We're gonna end up moving these guys. One of them, I think it sounds like Abreu is the one they wanted to trade at the beginning, but I think it's gonna end up being Yoshida. And I think you're right. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to drive up the trade value.
yeah,
But who knows? Maybe the competition thing will happen and they'll all be really good, and it's just a really good
yeah,
problem to have.
yeah. I mean, maybe we trade Abreu. Who knows?
We'll have to see who's better. I mean,
Yeah.
Abreu's younger, but
But speaking of this whole, so like we alluded to the DH thing earlier, and let's get into that. Rafael Devers changed his tune last week. He said he's willing to DH because he said, like, quote, I just want to help the team win. At the end of the day, whatever position I'm playing, I always take these things as a competition and as a way to get better. That's exactly what you should have said the first time. But
yeah,
it's like, okay, cool, great, awesome, glad you're on board. And then the drama's over, right? We just all move on. Fucking no.
no,
Sean McAdams of Mass Live reported that Devers was considering asking for a trade.
yeah. So
What do you think?
who the fuck is Sean McAdams? Like, what's going on? Why would you put that out there? Like, I guess,
I it's like, okay, I was considering maybe getting a tattoo on my butt.
I was
Like,
literally just about to say it. I was literally just about to use that exact analogy. I was considering like a couple weeks ago. I was like, I have a few tattoos, and I was like, maybe I'll get one or two more tattoos. And then I decided, no, I think I'm good. I
yeah,
don't need any more. Like, I was considering making a peanut butter jelly sandwich for lunch, but instead I had a burrito. I was
right.
considering taking a shit in the afternoon, but instead I took it in the morning. Like,
Yeah, like if he like did he ask for a trade? No, then shut the fuck up. Like I
I'm
don't
a yeah, and I'm a veteran of cognitive behavioral therapy, and there's this classic line that like every CBT therapist uses, which is thoughts are just thoughts.
yeah,
Thoughts are not anything other than thoughts. And it's like, yeah, if he thought, of course he probably thought about getting trade. He's probably like, oh fuck that, I want to play third base, and then he's probably like, wait a second, like I'm like the man here. I probably shouldn't
yeah,
do that. I don't give
yeah.
a fuck what he was considering.
I, yes, it was this is like I don't know, this just reminds me of like the whole saga with like Manny and Nomar, except like Rafi, like I think wants to be here. Like there, it's
Yeah,
just
he
like it's such
definitely wants to be
bullshit.
here. He definitely wants to be here. This is just stupid. The one thing about the Boston media that really bothers me, and I do know that there's players who don't want to play there because of this reason.
Yeah,
Everything is a story to them. Everything is a big deal. When I lived there, it was like every little thing is a big fucking problem. And it's
yeah.
like, that's what I'm saying. Who the fuck was Chris McAdam? That's his
It was
name.
Sean McAdam. Yeah,
Sean Mc, like, bro, what are you doing? What is your goal of releasing this? Like, why you work for the Boston media? What are you trying to do? Did he
yeah,
request a trade? No. Then I don't really fucking care. Now
yeah.
everyone's just oh.
Like, and it's just like I don't know. It's like hilariously vague language to say like considered asking for, and it's
Yeah,
um
according to who? Also, according to who?
sources.
What did you went? What source? You went to go get your hair cut and they go, oh, dude, I heard fucking Devers might want to get a trade. Oh, like
Yeah,
who
I,
said that? Like I don't know. That's so
I don't know.
stupid.
Foul
Uh,
Territory also did a like straight up a 13-minute segment on this on the
yeah,
Devers saga, which like it's not a saga. AJ Przinsky's like, well, Devers was blindsided by like signing Bregman, and I'm like, look, if Rafael Devers is blindsided by the Bregman signing, then Rafael Devers like might have a concussion. Like he might be dumb as rocks.
or just like was never ever watching the news. Ever,
Like
like was
how do
never
you
paying
like
attention.
we all saw this coming. We all like all off season it was Arenado or Bregman. It was Rafi might move to first or DH. Everyone was talking about that. There's no way he didn't know that that was a possibility.
Yeah, I also think that like you have to remember former players are always going to protect former players. Like that's always how those podcasts are, and that's fine. There's no issue with that. I totally understand. But like this is the shitty part about it. Major League Baseball is an industry. It's a business. It sucks, but it's like,
Yeah.
hey, sometimes I'm going to make a business decision to make my team better. I'm not going to make a decision to coddle your ego. He's not a great third baseman. He's not horrible. I mean, he's not the actually I think he led the league in errors, so he's not great.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, dude. Like that's baseball, man. No one's saying you're not good enough to play. He's going to be one of the best hitters in the American League. He always is. He's like Mr. Consistent. But it's a business, dude. Like what you can't be like, "Oh, I'm throwing a hissy fit." It's like, dude, you've had like 8 seasons in the bigs and you've made like 12 errors a season. This should not be a surprise to you, you know?
Yeah. Real quick, Fleur is
I
sitting
can see.
on where am I? There we go. On my notes.
Nice. Lovely.
um
Just like, "Hey, dude."
Hi. Um but yeah, no, it's I will say, like, if it's true that, I think I believe that it probably is, that the Red Sox did not directly talk to Devers about Bregman and that move. Like, I agree that's shitty. The Red Sox should have been more transparent. Like, at a certain point, I get why they weren't like from the jump.
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, like, yeah, if I'm in Rafael Devers' shoes, like, I'm frustrated that my team never talked to me about this beforehand.
Hmm.
But I'm also like, yeah, I knew you guys were gonna, like, might do something because it's all everybody's talking about. So, like, I think I don't think I wonder if he's like, I'm not gonna like speculate wildly, but like, if I were in his shoes, like, I wouldn't really be pissed about the move from third base to DH. I'd be pissed about the communication about it.
Yeah, and that was where I was. That was my next point. Is like, it's also not feasible to completely absolve the organization of any wrongdoing. Like
Yeah,
they bungled this for sure. Like I
yeah,
feel like even like allowing anyone to speak before having some kind of meeting with a PR person, like, hey, this is the deal. You're gonna get asked this question. Like, let's just put a cover up answer until we can discuss this internally. Like, the organization failed completely to prevent this catastrophe from happening by not communicating and also not preparing people for the inevitability of like these questions coming.
yeah.
Mm.
And really, like, no one has to, and like, I don't know. It's just like, I think because it did seem like at a certain point we were going to either trade for Arenado or sign Bregman. And I feel like
Mhm.
when it's like comes down to those two, it's like, hey, Rafi, just like letting you know, like, I mean, he was cool with moving off of third for Arenado because Arenado doesn't play elsewhere. I think this whole like this whole thing about, like, oh, Bregman will play second, like, why did the Red Sox say that? Um, and it's just like weird because like the Red Sox have, like, for years now, this has been a recurring problem for years. They suck at communicating like their plans publicly, and they try to hide it, and they do a very bad job.
Yeah.
Like, just say, we're going to go get Bregman to play third because he's a gold glove winning third baseman. Rafi is going to move to DH. We're going to talk to Rafi about this before we do it. And otherwise, this doesn't make the organization look, you know, devious or smart. It makes them look really incompetent.
Yeah, that's where I was going. That's what I mean. Like all of this was inevitable. Like the questions being asked, the drama, the whole situation was inevitable. The fact that they're so unprepared for it and seemed like they had no idea, like it seems like everyone's shell shocked. Like, what the hell? I can't believe this is such a big deal. It's like, yeah, bro, of course it's a big deal. This is like your superstar. You gave this guy $330 million and you're trying to move his position.
Yeah.
This was always going to be a big deal.
Yeah. I completely, yeah, it's the whole thing is just like ridiculous. And at this point, I'm like, can we please move on? Like, let's just,
Yeah.
like, I think we're all in agreement about what's about to happen here. Let's move on, and let's just go. Like, as soon as we start winning games, like, this is all out the fucking window.
That's what I was gonna say. We're gonna get to mid-July and we'll be like 12 games over 500 or something, and everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was weird as shit." Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of second base, though, Bregman has not played a single game at second this spring. He's only played at third.
And that's because
So,
he's not going to play second base this
right.
season. Yeah.
But who the hell like, it's still, we're no, I think, no closer to knowing the answer to this question than we were when spring training started.
My assumption based on what I'm seeing is probably Campbell. I
Yeah.
don't think it'll be like Hamilton is going to be a regular player off the bench. That's what I think. He's going
Yeah.
to be a guy that comes in the seventh inning to pinch run and then takes a defensive substitution. Maybe he'll get in that bat or two. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Campbell.
I saw that last week. Cora was saying that Campbell needed to work on his ball handling skills. Like that was the big thing for him at second.
Mhm.
And then he played this week and he made two really impressive like diving plays against Baltimore.
Yeah,
I think it was Baltimore. Like two great defensive plays at second. So like maybe he's figured that out. His bat is kind of waking up. Yeah,
I think he'll be the starting. I think they're going to try him there. I think
yeah,
that he's also. It's going to be a situation kind of like we're talking about with. It's going to be a wait and see situation. Like if he's awful, if it's a disaster, then they'll move Bregman and stick Devers back at third. Like this is again like a good problem
yeah.
to have, but I would assume it's going to be him because it's him, Hamilton, and Grissom. I don't think it's going to be Grissom. Hasn't looked great.
Grissom's not. Yeah, his hitting has kind of gotten. He's gone down to like 188.
Yeah, he's not looking
Um,
good.
he's got a minor league option still, so he'll probably start the season at
Starting Triple
AAA.
A.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think Chris Cotillo has also said that Campbell is likely to be is likely the front runner for second, and that I think makes sense. It's surprising because I guess like no one's blowing me out of taking the world by storm here. I guess that's
Yeah,
silly to think. Um,
they're all very decent options.
yeah. Uh, turns out Willie Abreu might be ready for opening day.
I did see that as well, which is good news. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so funny that like he was such a heavy trade piece for such a long time because again, I said it in like in our first episode. I think he's gonna be such a stud. I'm excited.
yeah.
I'm excited to see him out there. I wonder what was actually again. It's like these injuries and stuff. I feel like we're always so kept in the dark, and then all of a sudden it's like, just kidding, he's ready to go
Well,
now. We're like, what the
I
fuck?
think he was sick. I think he was one of the
Yeah,
plague guys. Um,
dude, everyone in like Major League Baseball is sick right now.
Mookie Betts missed the Tokyo
Oh,
series because he
did
lost
you
like
see?
15 pounds off of
That's what I was
this.
gonna say. He lost like 20 pounds. That's
Also, I'm like, is
crazy.
that real? Like, did he really lose like that much weight that quickly? Because that's fucking terrifying.
They said Casas also lost like
Yeah.
15 pounds. Yeah.
Turns out
It happens.
All of Major League Baseball is just on Ozempic now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
fuck.
They're all trying to make a movie. They're all trying
Yeah.
to get Hollywood shape.
Um, did you watch the spring breakout game this past weekend? So,
Hell
for
yeah.
listeners who don't know, spring breakout is a weekend during spring training where every major league team fields their top prospects against one another, um, or against teams with their top prospects playing, and it's a ton of fun to see like the future of Major League Baseball. In a game against the Rays, the Red Sox big three all hit home runs. Meyer and Meyer and Campbell went back to back, and then Roman Anthony, man, that
Obliterated one.
fucking 434 feet. Yeah,
Dude, his swing, he has the best swing I've ever seen. Like his swing reminds me of Ken Griffey Jr.'s swing. It's like fucking crazy, bro.
yeah. It's really like amazing. Also very funny that right before he clubbed that ball, someone shouted "overrated" at him,
Yeah,
because uh,
is someone stupid.
Tony Maz is an idiot. Um, and then he just like immediately like just punches that ball to the moon. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't even like feel like this year is might even be the year where we get all three of them up at the same time, or like where they really like take center stage. But it's like, dude, that trio
It's
like is
insane.
so sick, and I am so excited for them.
It's insane. Dude, his exit velocity, I was reading it's like averaging like 110 to 115. Like that guy is
Yeah.
hitting rockets
He
off the
hit
ball.
a
It's
single yesterday against New York. He hit a single that was 108 miles an hour off the bat.
yeah, he's fucking cracking the
A
ball, bro.
single, like no.
Yeah, he's gonna be like a Giancarlo Stanton, like every ball that he hits. I think every year Giancarlo hits like the longest or the fastest home run, and like
Yeah,
let me look that
I
up.
think
But
he's the
it's
reason that
insane.
we have to care about exit velocity now. Um,
Oh my God, bro. Giancarlo Stanton is known for his high exit velocity, with his hardest hit ball of last season reaching 120 miles per hour.
that's nuts.
That
But
is so crazy.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, at this point, like I kind of do think Roman Anthony of the three of them, like he is the guy I would put in the opening day roster. But I also saw that So like Cora has said that the big three aren't going to come up unless they're playing every day.
Yeah, it makes sense because I think Roman Anthony's 20,
Yeah.
Campbell's 22, and Myers 21, right?
Well, Campbell and Meyer are the same age.
They're both 22. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, baseball, like, it's so funny, again, comparing to soccer, because, like, 22 is, like, not young for soccer. But
Yeah.
in baseball, like, if you're a rookie at 22, you're young. Like, most guys coming up in the, I think Duran was, like, 25 when he made his major league debut, or
Yeah.
26. Like, most guys are, like, in their mid 20s. Um, if you're not playing baseball every day in your early 20s, it is hindering your development 100%. And I do think he's right. There's baseball is one of those weird sports where like experience at the highest level definitely matters, but not as much as a more fast-paced, like quick twitch muscle fiber sport. Like if you're like LeBron's son,
Mhm.
even though he's not getting a ton of minutes, like getting minutes in the NBA is useful to him
Yeah.
compared to getting minutes. It's like a different sport. And it's the same way in Major League Baseball, but because it's so static, you're not like moving constantly. What, he comes up and gets maybe one at bat every 2 or 3 games? Like that's actually not that useful. You should just, you know, hit slightly lower velocity in AAA and just keep your swing locked in. So I kind of see where he's coming from. I hope it's not like we're trying to not waste the service time thing
Yeah.
because if they're going to help the ball club, then get them up as soon as possible. But I think that it makes sense based on how baseball works as a sport?
Yeah, I guess taking like his comments of like we want them like to come up and play every day once they're up. Like I guess extrapolating that to like its most logical conclusion, like okay, but when can that happen? I mean, for Campbell at second, it'll probably happen very soon.
Yeah.
But for Marcelo Meyer, you got Trevor Story at short, and he's there until 2027, maybe more if he doesn't opt out of the contract. And then like Roman Anthony, it's like where does he plug into this outfield? So, I mean,
Well, I mean, we look at the Yoshida stuff we were talking about. There's certainly going to be trades coming to make room for him.
yeah.
It's a tough. I don't know. It's so tough with. I another talking baseball ism I picked up this week was Trevor Plouffe said something. He was like, "Go look at the last 10 years of your favorite team, whatever team you support, your favorite team's top 10 prospects every single year, and tell me how many of them are still in the major leagues." And this is kind of a different situation because these guys are like very clearly major league ready.
Yeah.
Like, let me do that right now with the Red Sox. It's tough with prospects. Like, Red Sox, if I look up Red Sox top prospects, let's say 2017.
Wait, I think a better because our farm system sucked in
Yeah,
2017 for the most part. Um, what about like I'm really curious the 2016 Astros
cool.
or 2017 Astros? Like what the right when they got good.
Let's see. Astros top prospects for 2017. Okay, here we go. Number one, Francis Martez.
I don't know
Never
who
heard
that
of it.
is.
Starting pitcher, like probably hasn't made it. Number two, Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
Number three, David Paulino. Never heard of him.
Yeah, me neither.
Number four, Forrest Whitley. Never heard of him. Number five, interesting, Derek Fisher, who did come up to the major leagues and win a World Series with them, but is no longer in. He was only up there for like 2 years.
Wow.
Franklin Perez, Daz Cameron, James Hoyt. Ah, Teoscar Hernandez.
Oh my God, that's right. He was, yeah. That's oh my God. Okay.
JD Davis, he made it up there.
Yep.
Colin Moran. But most of these guys, I mean, Miguel Angel Sierra, Anibal Sierra, Ronnie Dawson. Oh, Jonathan Arauz, who played for the Red Sox briefly. Garrett Stubbs. I mean, bro, like 90% of these guys are not in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and a lot of the ones who aren't on the like I think he's not even on the Astros anymore.
No, he's not. He's on the Cubs.
Yeah.
But like, you just never know. That's my point?
Yeah. But also then like you do have to look at like where Altuve, Correa, and Springer were all homegrown, right? I guess Bregman technically also.
I think Correa was. I think Bregman was. I don't know about Jose Altuve. I think probably, but let me see. He was drafted by Da, 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 da. Yes, he was. He was drafted by the Astros,
Yeah.
and I think Springer was too. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they've had their version of like the big three. It does
Yeah.
happen.
I think it's more likely. I mean, I don't foresee the Red Sox trading the big three, any of the big three, and I wouldn't. I do see a scenario where like there's a trade that like is beneficial to the team, but like does sting a lot for us later this
Yeah,
year, where it's like we lose Abreu or we lose Casas or something like, and but the return is really answering a problem that we have at that point. Um,
yeah.
Before we move on to other major league news, did you hear about this 76 Coffee story?
No.
Okay, so this is actually great. And for like me as someone who was a PA, if I can get my computer to load, this would be great. Um, but for me as a PA, like this story is I think particularly funny. If not a little bit triggering. Um, Basically, like what happened was, uh, Roman Anthony and Wilyer Abreu were in the clubhouse together, and uh, I guess Bueller was like asked for like said, Roman Anthony, you're gonna get coffee for me and everyone in the clubhouse tomorrow, like
Hmm.
all of the players, clubhouse workers, everybody. Uh, Roman Anthony eventually enlisted um Marcelo Meyer to help him with this because eventually like it got to like an insane number.
Sure.
Uh, okay, here it is. Yeah, so Bueller decided Anthony would buy coffee for the team the next day. Anthony thought it was a joke until it
Okay.
wasn't. Uh, and So yeah, he enlisted Mayor's help. They picked I think like a Starbucks near the ballpark. Um and they got there at like 5 a.m. to order all the coffee because I guess they had to pay for each order one at a time so that each one had the right player's name on it, which again, as a PA, no, you do that. I
Right.
never when I went to get coffee orders for like directors and producers, it's like no, I order them on one card and then I on each one I sign like write their name on it because this way is crazy. Uh
Damn.
so uh eventually after about 20 orders, Roman Anthony's credit card was declined because the company suspected fraud. Um and so
Oh my
Mayer
God.
had to start paying. Uh and so all went said and done, the bill came out to around $600. Um which
Bro, what?
but the best part of the story, and I'm just going to read it directly from the Athletic. The best part of the story, in the chaos of their morning, Meyer didn't think to use his Starbucks app to pay for the order, which would have earned him stars toward future purchases.
Oh no. Oh
Like,
no.
oh, dude. Anyway,
Buddy.
so they got help from Max Ferguson, like loaded all this up into an SUV. Um, Eventually, like as it turned out, they didn't even get coffee for themselves, which I think is really funny. Um, the only order they messed up was Garrett Crochet's because he wanted his coffee iced, not hot,
Oh no, they got it hot.
or he wanted it hot and he got it iced. And Garrett Whitlock decided not to tell the prospects that they had forgotten his order, assuming they mixed him up with Garrett Crochet and got
Oh
only one Garrett
no.
coffee. And he said, "I felt bad. They worked pretty hard on it."
Oh my God.
I
Dude,
mean,
what the fuck? That's so
that's
crazy.
awesome. And I just like, dude, I love this team that they're doing this to. Like, this is the kind of hazing that's good.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. No,
um,
that's fine. That's way better than like some of the other shit you hear where like
yeah,
I don't know. I know a few people who have played in Major League Baseball and I've heard some weird shit, which
yeah,
I won't share on this podcast, but it's
yeah.
strange.
But hey, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, if being a Major League Baseball player doesn't work out, you have a career as a PA. I promise.
There you go. They're ready
Um,
to go.
yeah. So anyway, I don't know. That story is just so funny to me, and also
Yeah. Great.
forgetting to use like the rewards app is like something that I would do a hundred
That's so
percent.
brutal though.
Oh,
He's probably like, oh
like
fuck.
how
Like
much
as
free
soon as he
coffee
got
is that?
fuck.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, just broader. Let's get to just broader MLB news, which there isn't a ton. There were some actual baseball games. Something
All right.
real,
Major leagues, baby.
yeah. Dodgers won both of them, uh, 4-1 and 6-3 against the Cubs in Tokyo. Um, what do you think of like the Tokyo Dome?
Um, I'm not a huge fan of like dome stadiums in general. I'm just like not a huge like I just
Yeah,
not for me, you know. Um, I the dimensions are kind of strange there, right?
I don't know. Let me look. I agree with you about like I don't like how dome stadiums, even like retractable roof stadiums when the dome is up, or the roof is closed, how dark it is. Like baseball requires some natural sunlight,
Hmm.
in my head. Of course, their dimensions are all in meters.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so let's see. Left field is 330. Left center is 360. And right center is 360, and then center field's 400.
So it's like a straight, it's like a perfect
Yeah,
circle out there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge dome stadium fan. I mean, it's like a super famous place, of course, but like I never really got the appeal. I know obviously like the high walls and stuff, like it looks really cool, but I'm I'm like hit or miss on this whole like Japan series as a whole.
yeah,
Like I really like it for marketing baseball, but I really don't want to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to watch opening day. Like,
yeah,
can't we do this shit in July? Like, why does it have to be? Because like I missed it. I'm out on this trip for work. Like, I have to
yeah,
be up and ready to go. I can't be running on 2 hours of sleep. Like, that's just not.
yeah.
So it's like, okay, I guess I'm watching the YouTube highlights. Like, that sucks. I basically missed my fucking opening day of my favorite sport.
It's also
Um,
it's also just weird because like they go and they play these two games that count, and then they have to come back and play games that don't count for another
so
week and a half before the games that do count start again.
yeah, it doesn't. I'm not. I don't really. I'm out on this one. I think they should have done it in like July.
Yeah,
It was cool to see the exhibition games against like other Japanese teams. Like that was kind of sick.
I would honestly prefer that to playing regular season games. Like if they're
Yeah,
going to
me
do games
too.
this time of year, like I think they should have marketed more like the Dodgers playing the Giants
Yeah.
because like the Giants are a big deal in Japan, and like I do think that I agree that would be better, or just like do it mid-season. Because it does feel like opening day is like Major League Baseball should want that to be as big a deal as possible, and then like, but like this kind of undercuts that because it's so early in the morning. That said, it looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah,
Um,
it
and
looks sick, dude. Like
yeah,
playing in Japan is probably awesome. It's just I'm not. I don't know.
yeah, I know the hosts of Talk Dodgers to Me are there. They
That's sick.
got to go, which I'm sure they're having a blast, and I am very jealous. But it's very cool. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think like what notable stuff happened. I don't know. Roki Sasaki gave up 5 walks. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, he walked. I think he walked the bases loaded and in a run.
Yeah,
He walked four in a row. Yeah, that was
yeah,
weird. Otani hit a homer, which is always fun.
yeah. Edmund and Kike also.
Dude, Kike bombed it. He fucking smoked. You know about his eye? Did we talk about that on the
Yes, yeah.
podcast?
That
About
he.
his
I don't know
glasses?
if we
Yeah,
talked about it on the show, but yeah,
yeah, dude. He like had. Did he have LASIK or just he's wearing goggles now? I don't remember what it is,
he's
but
wearing
like,
goggles now. But
bro,
yeah,
he looks so much better.
dude, I am honestly pissed at us as a team because I'm like, no one thought to put him in front of an eye doctor.
Dude, I'm a
Nobody
big
thought to do
Kike
that.
guy. Yeah, and I'm a big Kike guy. I love Kike Hernandez. I think
Yeah,
he's perfect for like a winning team. He doesn't need to start every day. He's a guy that's going to get you wins in October. He gets a lot of clutch hits. He can play like five positions. I'm a big Kike
yeah.
guy.
You sign him really for October is what you sign him for.
Yeah,
Um,
although now maybe he'll be better with the eye stuff. Who knows?
our last story, which again came from the Athletic, and I thought this was really funny. They did a piece about the Ghost Runner in extra innings.
Yes.
Um, and I this was really interesting to me. So, um, last season the winning percentage across Major League Baseball was 522 at home and 478 on the road. So, um, teams teams overwhelmingly like have win more at home. They have home field advantage. It's very much a real thing. And that's for all 162 games. But home team winning percentage in extra innings, 493.
Really? So scoring the first run with that guy on second is clearly really important.
Yeah, and before that, like the extra inning, not the before that was a thing. Home team winning percentages in extra innings was 523. So like it's a 30-point drop.
Wow.
Um, I always hated that rule. I always hated the
Wow. I don't really like it. I just I get why they do it, but I actually don't feel like it really. I would love to see the stats of like how much of a difference it actually makes in the timing of a game because in my view, it's like if you hit a single to lead off the inning, my hair looks crazy right now. If you hit a single to lead off the inning, it's a run. It's basically just like great. Like a single is just a run automatically. So it's the same thing that would have happened if you would have hit a single and just started tied anyway. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really seem like it would make that much of a difference. The only time it makes any significant difference is if there's errors or walks or like hit by pitches or something. That's when
Yeah,
it's like basically if the pitcher fucks up, it's the run, you know?
right. Or like if someone makes an error and a guy scores on that, like and
Right. Because
the
then
guy who
it's
was
like,
on
oh
second,
shit.
because like yeah, that run shouldn't count. But I don't know. I understand like they don't really want extra inning games to happen, which is
I love extra innings.
I'm like, this could be fun. I think 20 innings is excessive. But I don't know. I think if we're gonna have this stupid ghost runner rule, like I feel like it should be something that gets deployed like if you get to like 15 innings,
Yeah,
or
that
like
would be good.
12
There should be,
innings.
or they could do it on a time basis. If you play a game and you're in extras and it hits above 3.5 hours, then you start doing it. Like there's ways to do it that are
Yeah,
not what they're doing now. I agree with you though. It feels weird. I'm like, what the? And every one of my friends that likes baseball feels the same way. They're all like, what the fuck is that?
yeah. But also, it's like it does undercut like it's a huge advantage to have
Yeah,
someone on second base with no outs,
yeah, definitely.
and
And I
like
think psychologically scoring first, clearly you've
yeah,
proven by the study you read makes a huge difference. Like you're like, oh shit, like we're down now. Fuck.
yeah. Well, the article makes a point about this, which is interesting. It's just like like how you manage your team is going to change if you're the away team and you score then all you got then you come in to protect a one-run lead and end the game. If you're the home team, then it's to just keep the game tied so that we can go to the next half inning. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's silly.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been I actually like a lot of the rule changes.
Yeah,
I've never been a fan of that one. I like the pitch clock. I like the bigger bases. That's
mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah,
I really don't get the ghost. It just feels like a fucking T-ball game. It's like what the hell is this
exactly.
shit?
Yeah, no, I think
Um
it's very, very lame.
Unrelated and random thing that I'm throwing in. Did you
Yeah.
see this video surfacing on Instagram? I was just gonna pull it up before we wrap here, but it's Ichiro. Um, Back when the Dodgers won the World Series, it's going viral right now. When the Dodgers won the World Series in 2020, there's a video of Ichiro talking to Edwin Rios, and he's like, "Hey Edwin, I played in 19 years in Major League Baseball and I never won a ring. Please give me your ring." It's the funniest thing. I think it's like an actual MLB video, but it's so funny. I'll find it and send it to you. But
Dude,
it's just like I
that's
had it saved for today. It was cracking me up.
Dude, that's so funny. Also, just like going to like the conversation we were having last week where we were shitting on the Mariners. Like, it's un it sucks that Ichiro does not have a ring. That like a
Yeah,
player like Ichiro should have won a World Series. Like,
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's dude. I mean, well, here's one other thing to close us out. How about the was it Tampa Bay? There was a team that I saw is about to get fined for spending underneath their
oh,
spending threshold.
the Marlins.
Marlins. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
So I guess I didn't know this that like there is a form of a salary floor. Like the
Or
payroll
yeah,
has to be um 1.5 times the amount of what the team receives from revenue sharing. So
okay.
just that
Sure.
that number is 105 million dollars for the context of this story. Um, but yeah, I guess like what the I don't know. The Marlins are weird because like they're in this predicament. They're $20 million below that limit, but they're also going to trade Sandy Alcantara, right?
Yes,
Who
yes,
is that's another $12 million off the books or 17 million,
yes.
whatever it is.
The Marlins are the worst franchise in Major League Baseball.
I mean, they might be the most poorly run. Like it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never ever forgive them for firing Kimming. Um,
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
that was so stupid. Like literally, she takes your team to the playoffs for the first time. Well, I guess they went in COVID, but like the first like full season since they won the World Series, and then like the audacity to be like, actually, we're gonna hire someone over you. Um,
I just Yeah, they've been
ridiculous.
kind of nothing but poorly run their entire existence. You know what I mean? Like it's always it's just I'm just reading about this now. It's such an embarrassment. It's so bad for the league too cuz like no one wants to go there.
Yeah, I think it's really really interesting that like both Florida teams are just complete messes.
You know what's weird is like Florida's a big baseball state. There's a lot of colleges that like
Yeah,
FSU, like there's a lot of good University of Florida, Miami, like those are good
yeah,
baseball schools.
and I mean it's
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, it's a huge baseball state. I mean, also spring training is there. Like
Yeah, I'm just surprised. It's weird.
I
Like
don't
I
know.
feel like the Marlins don't have any actual fans. Like
Yeah, because I think the the team sucks. Like that.
this is there's a Reddit dash MLB. What's it like to be a Marlins fan? I'm gonna read through this later, but that's funny.
That is really funny.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's I think that's all we got today.
and well, in 2 weeks we'll be talking about real baseball,
Yeah.
which is
So
exciting.
until then, bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.